Hey everybody, welcome to the last podcast.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go. What's going on, Sal? What's on your mind? He's got a topic.
It's gonna be kind of me and Kent brainstorming. Me and Bryce have a thing. By the day this comes out, it'll be my 6-month anniversary with him.
Aww.
And I know, hold the applause. And Bryce has a thing where we do relationship contracts. And so when we started this, we did a 6-month relationship contract, which we already renewed at the time of this recording. So we're down for another 6 months. But with that, there's like rules. And for instance, one of the rules that he proposed was we're not allowed to do bouncy houses because he doesn't like them. And what I was telling Kent earlier was that originally I agreed to it because I was like, how often does that ever become a thing? And then over those 6 months, especially during summertime and into like early fall of the school year,
Right.
bouncy houses everywhere. I remember seeing it. There was one literally right across the street from my house where that museum was.
Tempting
where
you.
it is, just right there. The obstacle course one too, where you go like have fun. There was one over by the Dillons on this side of town, the east side. They had one over there, not in Dillon's, but near that area. That's just 2 cases here. I've seen multiple ones just like driving.
It's just been torture for you.
I'm sure they've always been there. But it's
But
like
you're noticing that.
Yeah, it's like a situation where like when you can't have it, you're more like it's.
Or like when you hear a word that you haven't heard in a while and then you hear it everywhere right after you hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I just became aware of them, and so that sucked. So like for this podcast, I was thinking me and Kent could go through potential things. Like I would do mine, and then if you could, what you would put for your relationship contract.
Okay.
And then this will be an open discussion, so anyone hearing these can comment what you would put in your relationship contract.
All 16 of you can comment on.
Yeah, that's 16 comments.
There you go.
Plus responses, that's like a conversation.
Now, I'm going to start out by just saying that I think it's very weird that you guys do that because, like, I've never thought of doing that with Megan, and so I have no idea what I would put on a contract.
So I kind of thought the same thing at first, too, until he kind of explained it. If I remember correctly, because this was 6 months ago, he was saying he got the idea from a couple that did it to basically guarantee that even if they got in a fight, that they'd have to stick it out because it wasn't officially legally binding, but it was like
right.
the sense of that. And there have been a couple times where like we had hardships in our relationship, and I legit thought I could just not talk to him until the 6 months is up, and then we'll just end the contract.
Oh my god.
Stuff like that, you know. And it was a way of saying like you're stuck with me until this is up, and then you can leave. But and then we're doing it like this, and then the next one will be for a full year, and then we're gonna do another one for 2 years, and we're gonna work our way up to 5-year contracts, and then just stick with 5s. But
just get married, then you have a life contract.
Yeah, but this is fun, and it keeps it interesting.
Right,
Think about it. Every 6 months,
enough.
you got to change it up a little bit. Like, now we got to do... Well, we better fucking be able to do bouncy houses. No, just if we can.
I will end it right there.
The worst part that I'm already so aware of is that this first 6 months, a lot of it was during good weather time. And this next 6 months is going to be all of winter where there's no bouncy houses. And then the showery spring.
Yeah.
And then the contract will be up in June. So, like, the start of summer is when it'll go away. So, like, I'm not even sure if I want to use the bouncy house card yet.
Don't.
Like, I know. That's why, like, I got to brainstorm things. And so it's kind of just like a mix of things that you would like and then things that you want to just stop. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think one thing that, like, I honestly can't think of anything, but if I could think of something that Megan would put on a contract, it would be no long hair. Because she doesn't like it when I grow my hair out, and so yeah, I would have broken that contract by now. But yeah.
See, and on that subject, actually, I would put it as I hate it when he tells me that my beard is scratchy, as if I don't already know. And so I think I might put that on there of stop complaining when I kiss you that my beard is scratchy. It's fine.
I could put that on there too, on a contract, because sometimes my mustache gets too long and
Some other things. I like the idea of us setting aside one day of the week where we have like a date night.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know people just kind of do that anyway, but
Right.
it's like in contract. It has to happen.
It has to.
There's no getting out of it, fucker.
I will sue you.
Well, and tomorrow, so the day this is published, we're going to talk about the rules that we both set up and then find middle grounds if it's too rough.
I think it would. Do you guys like write it down? Because I think it would be binding. It wouldn't be notarized, I guess, but like.
Yeah, but it'll be like an unofficial. I think it would hold up.
Like if you wanted to sue him, I guess you could.
Yeah.
But.
So I am planning on writing mine down. Right now is like a brainstorming session, trying to get some good ideas, basically. And then tomorrow I'm going to send them to him. When we're done tonight, we're actually going to talk. And one of the things I'm going to discuss is like, do we each get a veto?
One veto.
I swear to God, there's going to be something I'm not.
I'm vetoing bounce houses.
But stuff like that. One thing I would like to see too is this is almost for me like a gift to him. I'm aware that when we're in the car, I try to control the radio, and I would like to see it become half and half, to where if we're going on a trip, he gets it one way, I get it the other way, or something like that. Because as much as I love my music and I think it's better than his, I would.
That's how Megan feels about my music.
That's how everyone feels.
It is.
I'd also like to hear what he listens to, and so I think it's gonna be torture. But I think by the end of the 6 months,
What is he like, country?
sometimes,
Country's not all bad.
yeah, but like sometimes it's good country and sometimes it's current country. And it's like,
Luke Bryan's Brian, I don't know.
it doesn't matter.
His song, I think it's called Country Girl. Country Girl, Shake It. I hate that song. That song is the fucking worst, and everybody sings
on a
it.
big green tractor.
I like that song. That's not Luke
don't.
Bryant.
I know, but it's still.
That's like one of the.
I don't like the country songs that are
That's like-
obviously talking about something.
Yeah.
And they just beat around the bush with corn and trucks.
I was listening to the song, and I had a bingo card in my head, and I was like, truck, tailgate, Friday night, barn, beer, girl on my lap. I was like, wow, I got 3 bingos.
All you were missing. I got 3 bingos. All you were missing was cowboy boots and jean shorts.
Cowboy boots, jean shorts,
They're almost always blonde.
a tractor. Just it's all the shitty country, but there's some good country out there. I could find you
No,
some.
I agree. I know there's good country out there. That's why when I specifically said that, I was like, sometimes it's good country and sometimes it's current country.
Yeah, current country has turned into very
like
very
pop.
marketable.
It's like pop with like a country twist.
Yeah,
And
I think I heard a rap country song,
they do that too.
and I was like, that needs to stop. It's like, I guess it's good that you're mixing genres, but like, wow, maybe you shouldn't with that.
Like maybe it just doesn't sound good. It was a good try. It was a try.
It was
So something like that.
Yeah.
Like I think I would like that as much as I'd hate it.
that was okay. Yeah, that made
In
sense.
the long run, I think I would be glad I did it.
Right.
In the moment, especially in the beginning, I'd be like, "Oh my God, this is
Yeah.
a 3-hour drive." I probably should be writing these down while we're talking.
You can just listen back to the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, sure, we'll go with your idea.
Anything to get me out of work.
Right? I should just have him listen to the podcast. These are my thoughts.
I mean, shit, he might as well. This is an open letter to Bryce. Here you go.
Oh, new band name, called it.
Open letter to Bryce.
Yeah.
That's a great band name. I love coming up with band names.
Oh God, I had one yesterday. I was making tacos, And he was like, "Ooh, are they gonna be good tacos?" And I was like, "Yes, they are just good tacos." And I was like, "Ooh, new band name."
Just good tacos.
No, not even just just good tacos.
Nice. Oh, I have some, but I can't remember what they are. Good story.
Yeah. I don't know. What are some other things?
They
What are some things that honestly there can't be nothing?
For me?
Yeah, just have Megan not listen to this podcast.
She doesn't listen to it anyway.
Ooh, get it? Listen to my work. Appreciate me.
All right, let me think. I mean, she leaves her spices out, but like I do too
totally
sometimes.
Megan.
Do what?
Totally text Megan.
No, I've told her. I've been like, you leave your spices out all the time, and she's like, yeah, I know.
So
I leave the toilet seat up, but that's kind of a cliche.
With the spices, do you think there is a way that maybe you guys could get like a spice holder and put it on the counter? So then
It's called a cupboard. We have a cupboard full of spices.
Yeah, but have you ever thought about getting one of those spinning
Honestly, it probably wouldn't help.
Okay.
But like, I mean, the contract thing is interesting because like that's something I don't search for a solution for. Like for her, she'd probably say, cut your hair, because I grew out my hair. She doesn't like my long hair. She would also say, make sure you clear the microwave of like the clock, like I'll pull out the food and it'll stay on like 15 seconds and I'll forget about it. I do that a lot sometimes.
God damn it, Ken.
So that'd probably be on her contract.
Ooh, I got one for him.
Okay. For you. Oh, for Bryce.
So he doesn't pay utilities or rent. And so...
Oh.
With that being said, a lot of times, this was just in the week that I was with him for Thanksgiving break.
Right.
He leaves the light on.
Oh, yeah. Megan does too sometimes. I'm the one who goes away. She brought that up one time. I've gotten into the habit of going around and shutting off all the lights, and sometimes she'll leave them on. And then she called me out, and she was like, I see you go around my apartment and turn off all the lights, but you will, without hesitation, run the dishwasher a second time if something isn't clean. And I'm just like, yeah, pretty much. We don't pay for water.
With him, it's a little worse. Like, it's not so much that he leaves lights on while he's not in the room, which, as you can tell, like, we're basically in the kitchen right now, and I still have the kitchen lights off.
Mm-hmm.
With him, he'll leave them on when we leave places.
Uh-huh.
And we'll come back, and I'll just stare at him, and I'll be like, you left the light on. And it got so bad that by the end of the weekend, he'd pull up, and it would be a race of who could notice. So he'd be like, you left the light on. And I'm like, you fucking did it.
That's funny.
So that one's going to be on there for sure.
We leave a lamp on when we leave for like a movie or something because we live in a shitty neighborhood, and so we don't want people to steal our stuff.
Yeah, his has you need a card key to get into the building and then a card key to get into his room.
Oh.
So
you don't need it.
If someone's breaking in, they were gonna break in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the lights are off. Oh.
So yeah, light off.
I could probably not leave my jeans in the middle of the floor, although she doesn't really complain about that. I just do that because, like, our apartment is small and it's like shit's got to go somewhere.
On the subject of laundry, he doesn't do laundry.
She does all the laundry, and I do most of the dishes.
So much clothes, and I found out it's because he's the type of person who would rather buy new clothes than do laundry.
I had that mentality for a little bit in college, and then I was like, wait, I'm poor. I can't do that.
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm not going to ask him to do laundry because that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very aware. But it might be can you at least throw your clothes in this hamper? And when it's full, can you bring it to the washroom? Question mark, please.
The deal we have is I do the dishes and she does the laundry because she does the laundry better than I do the laundry. But she also does the dishes better than I do the dishes. Because, like, even yesterday, the kitchen was a damn mess and I haven't had time to clean it up, and she completely cleaned it spotless. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
So I'm hoping the compromise for us is going to be I'll do the laundry because that's just going to be set in stone. But I'm hoping it's going to be he takes out the trash because it's really far away and not next to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dishes, I hope we split to just, you had free time today, you do the dishes. I had free time, I'll do the dishes. But we'll see.
I got really anal with dishes when I lived with my two roommates. They never did dishes unless I got on their asses about it, and it was a real pain. Especially in one house where we didn't have a dishwasher. It was just like, these are piling up and molding. Somebody clean them, please. But never did.
No.
But
Um,
and then we got a dishwasher, and I was like, yes.
It's really hard. Like, the worst part about the contract is that you gotta, like, hold on to something, like, when you notice it. Because, like, right now I'm all, like, happy, like, yay, price is perfect, blah, 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 blah. And then 3 weeks later, I'm gonna be like, God, this is so fucking annoying. And I have to remember for another 5 months if I want to change it.
This is a very interesting. It's a very interesting method of being in a relationship, because I've been in a relationship for 8 years and I've never even thought of doing something like that. And I feel like I think I know her. I don't know. I know her well enough that I think she wouldn't go for it. I think she has the same mentality that I do. It's just like, I don't want to remember a contract. Let's just call each other out.
So, like, it's like a playful way of addressing it.
Yeah,
right?
I sense that it's not like, okay, we have to follow this, or I
Yeah.
swear to God, I will fucking leave you.
And so with this too, though, it's also not like I'm not going to call him out on like a personal flaw kind of thing, as opposed to
You didn't do your laundry. Your fucking ears are huge.
not even like things that you can prevent per se, but like something like he's really introverted, so he likes to take naps. And as much as I like spending time with him, I'm not going to be like, in this contract, you are limited to 1 nap a week.
Oh,
You
I
know?
see what you're saying.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to do that. That's just insane.
Oh, Megan needs naps. She works with 25th graders every.
25th grade? Oh, never mind.
Yes,
Sorry.
25th graders.
The 25th grade.
No. Yeah, they're all 25-year-olds. I'd need a nap after that. But yeah.
Need some fucking drugs.
But yeah, she definitely needs a nap from all those little demons. Her class this year is a lot better though. Last year they were really bad.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot of stress too with his job. So, and like I said,
He does deal with 25-year-olds.
he deals with newly adults.
Oh God, those are the
and
worst.
Their parents.
Oh my
who
God.
just sent them off to college.
Ew. Oh God, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
When I went to Bethany, I was a junior going into some classes with some freshmen, and I was like, are you all stupid? Like, they were all just, they didn't know how to turn in work. They were all asking dumb questions, and I was just like, oh my God, was this how I was?
Oh God. Yeah. So, it's avoiding stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm like, you need that.
You need
I
that
think
nap.
you'll leave me after the contract if I try and change
If I take away your sleep.
We may not make it. I know there's got to be some other things. I'm trying to think. So, like, it sucks that we've been long distance because of the fact that the only corks I know are from the 1 week in a month that we got to see each other, plus Thanksgiving break where we had like a whole week with each other. But other than that, like, how much am I going to be able to critique when we just talk on the phone? So,
Your voice sounds extra scratchy today. Maybe stop doing that. Clear your throat every once in a while.
what do you mean? I think I'll put on there that I don't want to play Minecraft with them.
You don't like Minecraft?
I think I will repeat it one more time for Kent. I will not play Minecraft with them.
Bryce, I just want to let you know I love Minecraft. Minecraft is the
Special-
bomb.
There are very special occasions if he needs it.
Minecraft is fun.
I don't agree.
Really? Like, not at all? Here, keep talking. I need to check the volume on this.
Yeah.
You're, like, not picking up at all.
Sorry. Is that better? Is that better? You didn't even say if I talked.
You are mic number
Deuce.
1.
Oh. Damn it. 50-50.
Turn you up. Let's see if
Is that still not good? Should I be talking here?
that is better.
Yeah, but I'm like into the mic.
Maybe you should be into the mic then.
Okay, then I'll just talk like this.
It's the last podcast, and there's barely anybody watching, so who cares?
Hello. You know, but one day when I'm famous, they'll look back on this and they'll be like, we couldn't hear
Oh my
you
God. Okay.
at all.
Can we discuss all this Twitter bullshit that's going on? Kevin Hart recently
Oh,
I
I
am just like,
have no idea what he said.
it was
Just
some
FYI.
some kind of like could be viewed as homophobic, and it could be, but like it was 10 goddamn years ago, and people are getting so mad at it. And he was just like, you know what? If you guys can't see that I've changed in the past 10 years, then whatever. And he withdrew from being the host of the Oscars, or I think they fired him. I don't know, but
I
he
think I
was
saw
like,
he
he was
was-
like, fine, you guys are nuts. And I just want to say that I don't agree with any of the people out there who look back on like 9 years or 10 years or honestly even like 3 years ago. Like people change over the course of years, and it's ridiculous. I'm also really salty about this because of James Gunn, because James Gunn got pulled off of Guardians of the Galaxy because of it, and
I think
it ruined it.
I would need to see the tweets and whatnot.
Well, even so, like I don't
Just
know.
because, like, there are some things that you don't joke about, kind of thing, regardless of when. Because
But it was so long ago though.
yeah, but
doesn't matter
The
now.
only thing that I'm gonna hit with is 10 years ago he was still an adult.
That's fair, but you can
And-
still grow as an adult, and you can still
Agreed. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're not the same person as you were. Like, there's no way I'm the same person I was a month ago.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be held accountable for things just because you weren't then.
At least, I mean, I think people losing their jobs over it is ridiculous, because it's like,
Like I said, once again, I think I'd have to see it because there's certain things
I should show you a video,
that,
but
like, you could look at it and be like, that was obviously a joke, right?
well, here's the thing. Let's say I'm with a company that I wasn't with 10 years ago, and I say something of ill repute from a long time ago, before I was with the company, and then I come with the company and I am fine, and I'm a perfectly rounded adult, and I forgot about all the tweets, and so did everybody else, and I'm doing really well at the company. But then one day somebody looks back 10 years before I was even on that company's radar and says, "Oh no, look, they said this," and raises a huge stink about it, and then the company fires me. Is that really like
Once
nobody got hurt? It was just a stupid thing I said.
Once again, I'm going to say even your situation right now was really vague.
Oh, fair.
Like, I'd still have to, like, I think it's an individual case thing where I'm not going to paint with a broad brush and say you're right, and I'm also not going to say you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's
fair.
kind of it about it.
That's
Like,
fair.
with Kevin's Hart, I haven't read them,
Mhm.
so I can't say.
They were pretty like, you probably shouldn't have said that, and they were clearly like jokes in poor taste, and I was just like, eh.
And so that's where I'm at the point where I'm like, Kent, you're 22 right now, right?
Mm-hmm. 23
you-
actually.
Okay, and you read that and you were like, you probably shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, I'm pretty sure he was right around the same age. He should have known. That he
No
shouldn't have
way,
said
he
that.
was older than that. But
even older than
yeah,
Jesus
you're
Christ.
right. You're right. That proves your point.
So-
But yeah.
It's-
I guess I'm just. I hate seeing people lose their jobs over something trivial like that. 'Cause
I agree.
Usually they are trivial, and it's just like fucking.
And
whatever.
so, once again, the reason why I'm like, it has to be case by case
Mhm.
is because at the same time, if you don't do something, like, just because it didn't come to light till later, like, obviously he's not as famous as he was today as he was, or he's more famous now than he was 10 years ago. I don't even know who the fuck he was until like
Right.
5 years ago.
Right.
So obviously it didn't come into light, but that doesn't mean that you should just be fine for it,
Mm-hmm.
in my personal opinion. Because yeah, this is an offensive joke or whatever joke. Like, I don't know what he said,
I can't remember. We'll look it up.
but if you get away with things you did in your past, then people are gonna think, this is what I'm imagining, they will think they could do something, and then in a couple years it doesn't matter. So why does it matter today?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Like, that means you could say something right now today, and then just go, because I mean, you're not on a lot of people's radar, I'd imagine, right now.
Right.
today.
Then they'll go back to this podcast and be like, he said that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which although would suck. You
Right.
knew today that you shouldn't have said it, but you also knew it doesn't matter. No one's paying attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a weird line. It's kind of like the people. Wasn't there someone at like K-State that did blackface?
That
or
was
something?
very but that was more like they did it and it was caught when it happened.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
That was actually another thing. Like,
so like with that though, that's someone that's probably thinking no one's gonna see this. I'm under the radar,
mm-hmm.
and then it happened to blow up on social media.
Yeah.
But that's the same situation where it was like, these are just my friends on Snapchat. I could do whatever I want.
In the report I saw, there was somebody was like, Kevin Hart said this, but look at all these like female celebrities who said some pretty messed up bullshit too, and they're not getting any shit.
There's a double standard.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna do that, then you need to go through every single tweet of every single celebrity and do the same thing, and then it's fine. But like a lot of the times it feels like someone's just hunting, someone's just looking for blood,
and that's what it definitely was with like someone like James Gunn.
Yeah.
Too, which although once again I don't agree with what he said, because they were like, if I remember correctly, those were like pedophilia jokes.
They were
like,
bad. They were bad
yeah.
jokes. Like I'm not one who says that you can't joke about anything, but you gotta mold it correctly.
And
like
with him, like that was also like 10 years ago when he did those.
2009. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before he was even with Disney, I think.
Right.
I'm not.
And so that's, I heard someone else say it too, and I kind of agree. We're like, Disney does a lot of screening. Either A, they noticed it and were like, oh, it's fine, hush, hush.
This time they panicked.
Or,
yeah.
Well, I'm saying like when they screened him before they hired him, because they do that with everyone.
Mm-hmm. They probably saw it and were just like, it's fine. And then
yeah, and so then for that, I think like shame on Disney, because they already saw it and hired him anyway, and then now all of a sudden it's too bad.
Honestly, I think Disney's is pretty disconnected from the fan base as a corporation, because like I can step back and look at Disney and be like, you guys are huge. You guys are killing it with a lot of things right now. Honestly, if they would have just ignored it, nothing would have come of it. Like maybe their stock would have dropped a couple of points or something.
But it would have been fine in the long run.
Oh yeah, it would have leveled out. I didn't care. I heard it and I was like, so I just want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's all I want.
Honest to God, that's kind of where it's at. Yeah,
and nobody was hurt by it. That's another thing.
And see, that's another thing too with that, like what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
No one was hurt, right? It was a bad joke. I would never say it. And I
now, if
it
comes out that he's got like child porn on his computer or something, then yeah, I would say maybe get him out of there, Disney. But he didn't, and it was just whatever.
Yeah. Once again, I was able to tell it was a joke, which is why I'm like, oh, it's fine, whatever.
It's a bad
but
joke,
it's still just terrible joke. You shouldn't say it. So I. Not opposed to the fact that he got fired. I just wouldn't have done it, I don't think.
Right.
But I agree, if they would have stayed with him, I don't think they would have lost much other than just a bad reputation. But you need more than just one bad reputation at a time to really bring down Disney.
They caught 10 times more shit for firing him than they would have for just not listening at all.
Yeah, because that was like, oh God, that got so much worse when they fired him, because then it was the actors went out against it, then the movie was postponed indefinitely almost.
And now he's out doing, I think it's
Suicide Squad 2.
Oh, fuck, that's right. He's doing... Wait, no. Is it Suicide Squad 2?
I could have sworn that's what he got hired
I thought he was doing...
Or was it Green Lantern?
Oh my God, is there another Green Lantern?
I think it might have been the
No
Green Lantern
way.
Corps movie.
I thought it was something called Brightburn.
He might be doing that too.
Brightburn, have you seen that?
Tried to...
Brightburn?
No.
It's like an evil Superman. But it's not like in the DC universe. It's like if Superman came down to Earth and became evil. It looks really cool. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure DC poached him to do... I want to say it was Green Lantern Corps, but it might have been Suicide Squad.
I do remember commenting something like, you turned him to the dark side, Disney. Way to go.
You push everything we care about away. Josh Whedon went insane. James Gunn is fired.
Oh, yeah. What happened to Josh Whedon?
Avengers 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got done. He was just done.
He's just like, sorry.
He like quit Twitter, just like.
Oh really?
Yeah, just like smoke bomb grappling hook out of there.
I have a Twitter, but like I don't follow that many people, or I don't pay attention at all. So
I have Twitter without the app because I don't care.
Which I think is the best way to stay famous.
Yeah.
I think, is it Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch? I don't think she has a Twitter, and I think that's super smart of her, because it's like, don't have a Twitter, then you won't have to deal with it. Also, don't post every thought that you have to
At 3
social
a.m.
media. It's a very
individual one.
yeah, it's a really weird mentality that our generation came up with. Like we just have to vomit everything on the social media.
So with that, I kind of like how Beyonce does it.
I don't know.
Because she uses social media but very sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't just see things from her all the time. So when she does put something out there, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? And then you read it.
She's alive.
Like, it's kind of similar also to like the way the Russo brothers marketed like Avengers 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just keep building anticipation. They're like, hey, we're dropping something. And then like that time they dropped that photo of just random shit. And they were just like, here you go. And everyone was just like, what the fuck is this? And everyone just scoured
everybody
through the
fucking
picture.
creamed and was just like, ah!
Yeah, they like changed up the contrast in the photo to see if there was something hidden in it.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did was like, who the fuck even knows what that was? They just posted something. And we'll never know.
I saw something from the new Avengers trailer. It was like a video showing the part where oh God, what's his name? Ant-Man. The part where Ant-Man was on the screen. Yeah, how'd you know? The part where Ant-Man was on the screen and he was like, hey, let me in. And up in the top left corner of the screen, it says archive. And so like that could be like a video from the past or something like that. And so...
I don't know if the doors were like bolted up. Like they weren't like Avenger gates. They
yeah.
like, literally looked
and
like
he had
around.
Louise's van.
And that's the part that's fucking me up because like I want to think it was time travel, but the van didn't go with them into the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm. I just came up with this theory in my head just now. Perhaps like he's like in the quantum realm and he's controlling the maybe he's like unable to expand and become bigger, and maybe he's actually back in time and he's like too small and he's somehow controlling the video cameras to like play back that part of him or play back that video of him saying hi to like send them a signal. Does that make sense?
I don't think I'm following.
Okay, so
he
Ant-Man
got out in the future, recorded it, and then...
No. He got out in the... No, he's like in the quantum realm, and I don't know how the quantum realm works, so just bear with me. He's in the quantum realm, and so he's able to kind of control things within the quantum realm, and what he does in the quantum realm is he like controls the videotape so that it shows the past him doing that. So like he takes it from the archives.
Okay, agreed. But like, how does the van get in the past?
No. That's just he pulled up the video from the archives. Like that video is in the archives, and Ant-Man, who's in the quantum realm and trapped there, is doing some kind of weird like thing where he's able to
manipulate the footage,
manipulate the cameras, like the archives, and pull up that video. You know, does that make sense?
So he's kind of like green screening himself in the van into the...
No, he's not in... He's not in the video. He has pulled... Ant-Man is in the quantum realm right now.
Agreed,
okay?
Yeah.
He's nowhere else. He's in the quantum realm. And he, from the quantum realm, is doing some weird physics thing where he's gone... He like is in the Avengers complex, but is like he can't like get out of the quantum realm. So what he does from the quantum realm is manipulate the video cameras and the archives that the video cameras have filmed to go to that video where he's in front of the Avengers complex and play it, so they can be like, whoa, why is this playing? Why is this video from a long time ago of Ant-Man playing right now? What's happening? Does that make sense?
I'm still wondering like how the van is there though.
Okay, so
because like the van didn't go into the quantum realm.
There's a video of him and the van in the archives at the Avengers place, right?
No.
There is.
Yeah, but like that wasn't there before.
So here's what he's doing is he's going into the computer, and he's finding the file that shows the video of him, and he's just clicking on it and bringing it up and being like, hey, see this video? This is me from a long time ago. Help me, I'm in the quantum realm, and it's like a signal. He's raising a flag. The video is just a video of him from a long time ago. It's still in the computer, and he's just pulling it up and showing them.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I get that. So you're saying like he could know what's going to happen because he already did it situation.
I think you're thinking of this too hard. Here's what I'm saying. Right now, he is
Well,
just...
I'm wondering. Okay, so that means the video exists.
The video
right?
exists. Yeah, the video is in the
And
computer.
my question is, how
Okay.
does that video exist?
Because it's in the arc. It was filmed the day he showed up, and it's still in the computer. The file is still in the computer.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is I'm still confused on how he was able to get there to get into the film.
Get into the film.
So he's in the quantum realm, right?
Okay.
He's able to see the past, future, whatever, because time.
Okay.
So he's able to see that the video was happened because he's able to see into the past. So he's able to see that he somehow escaped.
I think
and
you're...
drove the van over to the facility.
Okay, wait. I think you're... Let's just get rid of the whole time travel thing for a second, okay?
Right now, he's stuck in the quantum realm.
He's stuck in the quantum realm. That's it.
Yes.
And he's... What I'm imagining is he's kind of acting like God at the moment because he's in the quantum
Agreed,
realm.
but are you saying that he forged the footage or the footage is
The
real?
footage exists.
Yeah, but that's what I'm questioning is how does it exist?
What do you mean? Okay, so back... What year was
listen,
Ant-Man? What year was Ant-Man released? Follow
it
me
was
here.
the same year as Infinity War.
Ant-Man 1?
Oh, Ant-Man 1?
Ant-Man 1.
Ant-Man 1, they didn't have the van.
What?
The van that he drove up there was the one that they had at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp that had the quantum tunnel in it that he got sucked into the quantum realm with.
They didn't have the van in Ant-Man 1?
They had a van, but this van
So that...
was a.
I
the
thought
van they
that
had at Ant-Man and the
video...
Wasp.
I thought that video was from the first Ant-Man when he like... Oh, wait, he never showed up at the...
And he never. No, he did show up to the Avengers facility.
But he didn't show
but
up
He showed up as a little
invited.
tiny ant to try and sneak in.
Oh,
And Tim like.
I'm hanging on to that archive thing. Maybe it's not a
So,
big... I don't know.
what I heard, because once again, if he got sucked into the quantum tunnel, which is in the van,
Mm-hmm.
that means the van's not in there with him. So if he goes through a time vortex, the van shouldn't go with him.
That's not true. If he goes into the past, then the van is somewhere else.
The van is somewhere else, but if he goes too far in the past, the quantum tunnel doesn't exist.
Is that how it works?
Well, it wasn't invented until like a couple days before that because they had to invent it just to save the Hope's mom.
If he goes through... Well, okay, but a couple days ago, it wasn't in the van.
That's what I'm saying. A couple
Okay.
days ago, it didn't even exist. So if he goes back too far,
Well, no,
it
wait.
doesn't exist
They...
yet. Time travel sucks.
Time travel does suck.
So
You should
the
watch
theory
Primer.
the theory that I heard that kind of solves the issue is that he first gets sucked into the future when he comes out. Therefore, the van still exists. It's probably still on the roof, and it still has the quantum tunnel.
He doesn't get sucked too far into the future, though.
What?
Right? Or you...
I guess it might not matter
Okay.
exactly how far.
Because it
but-
looks like they're showing like Captain America and Black Widow back at the base,
agreed.
which is how many months later?
They didn't say.
Oh.
It's just aware that it happened, and it was long enough in the trailer.
Oh, I
for
thought. Well, no, I
Tony
thought. I
Stark
thought
to get
you
stranded
said.
in space. I'm saying just sometime in the future.
I know, but I'm wondering. Like, I thought you said that they said that it was like 5 months in the future.
No.
Infinity War 2 isn't 5 months in the future.
No one knows. They haven't said anything.
Oh, I thought they did.
We
Okay.
don't even know if it's in the future, directly after, a couple minutes after, or if it's going to start at one time, go to another time.
I
and then
want to
come
see
another.
like 5 years in the future.
That's the rumor.
I hope so. That would be cool.
Yeah, that
Like, oh
would
my
be
God, they
cool.
haven't fixed this yet. It's been 5 years.
The only thing is, like, with the way they look, it doesn't look like it's going to be 5 years.
Damn. Because then
Like, could
I
you
would,
imagine Tony Stark being stranded in space for 5 years just drifting? Like,
no. Well, maybe
doubt
they
it.
stayed on Titan for a while and like
there's nothing
Nebulous.
there. It's a dead planet.
Oh, he's smart. He could figure it out.
I guess not. He's fucking stranded in space.
Maybe not. Well, what I was gonna say is maybe they stayed on Titan for a little bit and like somehow survived with like food rations or whatever, and Nebula like sacrificed pieces of her body to help fix the ship.
See, and like that's another thing. Like, Black Widow looks the exact same colored hair and length, but once again, that could be she kept dyeing it and cutting it.
Yeah.
But it's still, what's more likely that that's what was happening, or that it was, this movie's probably just going to take a couple days to a couple weeks in the future.
Dang. Well, it'll still be good.
But that's not what I was getting at. I heard that he would go to the future, which would mean that all that stuff still happened, but that would mean that the van still exists and the quantum tunnel's already built.
In the future.
And he's going to talk to the Avengers. The Avengers are going to help him because, I mean, assuming they should still have Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, two of like the smartest people, they might be able to help him use the machine to go back in the past. Then he might be able to go back to the past with the van to be in that archived footage. Does that make sense now? So, like, say that footage that they found that was in the archive was from like 1986. Or something.
Oh, they made it so that he could bring the van back with them.
Yeah.
So,
so then he
I'm
could
imagining just like him driving a van through a quantum tunnel.
Because then he would be able to go back to the past with that technology, right? And be like, hey guys, we could use this to stop him, kind of thing. Or he was planning on going back just before the snap and he went through the wrong tunnel and like he got shot back too far. Situation.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this movie. All these weird things. I'm so like, oh.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But there's just no way that he goes through the time vortex, right? Just himself, and he pops out. And if it's in the past, even just before the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp, that quantum tunnel exists because they didn't even have a small one in Ant-Man and the Wasp until the post-credit scene. They made a really, really huge one to save that girl's mom. It wasn't until the post-credit scene, which they didn't specify how much longer it was later. They just said it was later that they were able to even condense it to fit in the van.
See, I think that... Where did you see that was the rule that they're going with? That if it didn't exist, they couldn't go back to that point?
Because it's just... No, not that they couldn't go back. I'm saying the van and the machine wouldn't exist, so the van couldn't be in the footage, right? Like the van that he had wouldn't be on the roof where he popped out. Okay. Because it wasn't there before.
So they couldn't go back to before the.
So like he could go back to that time, right?
I'm saying
when he comes back, he wouldn't have the machine to go back into the quantum realm.
Okay, so he can go back as far as he wants, but if he goes back past the quantum machine, then he can't go back. Machine. Then he can't go forward.
He could go back into the quantum realm if he gets too small. But he wouldn't be able to like control it because that's what the whole quantum tunnel was for, was going to a specific location.
I see.
In the quantum, because that's why they built it, to find the mom, right? Was to key in on her exact location to grab her and pull her out.
Right.
And so if he goes back before that machine was built, which he can do, assuming time travel goes both ways, he could go future and past. He could go back before that machine was built, but that just means whenever he pops out, the machine's not built anymore.
Yeah, and he'll just have he'll have the van, but it just won't. It'll be somewhere else, and it won't have.
Depending on how far back he goes, yeah, the van exists. Because for all we know, the van could have been like a 1987 van. And if he goes back to 1983, the van doesn't even exist anymore.
Interesting.
So that's what I was getting on. Like, how does the footage exist of him in the van when it's set back at a certain time?
Okay, I was fixated on the fact that Cap was like, is this old footage? And I was like, oh, maybe it's old footage from back in Ant-Man 1. But then he didn't fucking go to there in Ant-Man 1, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay, see, that would have been way more helpful because then I could have just said he didn't go there in Ant-Man 1.
Yeah. I've been really... have you seen Travelers on Netflix?
No, but you already told me to watch it.
It is super good. Like, it's all about time travel, and it's like... It's probably one of the best shows I've seen on Netflix. It's super cool. The next season comes out in like 5 days, and I'm super excited. But I've been like on a time travel kick lately. We should watch Primer. Primer is the most confusing time travel movie if you haven't watched it yet.
Are all those shows you posted on Facebook that you said to watch on Netflix, all those had time travel in it, didn't they?
No. Just well, I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did, and
the entire
Travelers
season was
but
time travel.
Yeah, Frontier is about some fur traders. It's like it has Jason Momoa in it.
That time travels?
No. No, you're just back in that time. It's just a period piece, but it's
so
like
kind of like
it's about
you back
it's about Jason Momoa running a fur trading thing, and he's like a cutthroat, and he kills people a lot. It's a good thing.
Sounds like the segue to a Family Guy cutscene.
I don't know how to respond to that because it
Like, I'm just
doesn't.
imagining some kind of joke where they're like, like just a pitch meeting in Family Guy animation. It's gonna be Jason Momoa as a
As a fur trader.
trader. Yeah, being Jason Momoa.
It's better than Family Guy.
And then it's just gonna show Jason Momoa being all tough, funny guy.
Yeah.
So like, hey, buy this fucking treat. Oh, we're going on.
I don't want it. Stab.
Yes.
No, it's not like that.
That's what I'm imagining now.
Mm. What?
Let's look at the time.
Oh.
That's all. Let's see what else. Oh, ooh, I finished English with an A.
Good for you. Nice.
I'm pretty confident that all I needed to do on my math final was get like an 85 to get an A in the class.
Nice.
So I think I got that.
I think I'm finishing with. I think I'm finishing with all A's. I think I have like one B, but yeah.
I might potentially have one B as well in my aviation history, but that's all going to depend. Like, it's history stuff, right? So it's just memorizing
Right.
a name with what they did
Mm-hmm.
is essentially what the entire final is going to be. So on Thursday, I'm just going to look at all the old exams and try and find some kind of, was it mnemonic? To
Yes,
where, like,
that
I
is the
could
word.
associate a
Mhm.
name with the action that they did.
Yep.
And then as long as I could get 90% of those, I'll keep my A. Actually, I think I could probably get like an 88, 89 even. Because I have a 92 right now in the class.
Are you going for a 4.0?
Yeah.
Good job.
So I'm so close to it. I think
Yeah,
I
I've
can do
got one class that's bullshit that I don't need that I completely like I don't care about it and it's so dumb that I'm just like fine, I don't care if I get an A in it, but like I got a C on my last paper and it bumped me from like a 91 to an 89 and so I'm that fucking close,
Right.
but I think with this last thing we had to do, which was we went to a coffee shop and so the final was us recording the script that we had.
Script for what?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And it's fucking stupid. And we had to go to the coffee shop to listen to people read it, I guess. I didn't have to read it, but like they picked like 5 or 6 people to read theirs and it was
Okay.
painful to listen to. But I think we get a grade for that. And so I was there, I get an A, and so that'll hopefully bump me up to a 90, but I don't know and I honestly don't care at this point.
So for mine, I realize that I'm so close that I might as well try.
Mhm.
Like all my classes, like this one, I was at an A the entire semester. So, but it's still, once again, a 92. So just fucking up a little bit could drop it to an 89,
Mhm.
which is the worst. Because then you're basically an A.
Yeah, and it's
Stupid.
just like, God damn it, I almost had it.
My math class, I've been sitting at right around anywhere from an 87 to a 90 the whole semester.
Mhm.
And so, like, that's why this has to, like, become clutch. Like, I realized how close I was to an A about a month ago
Mhm.
in all these classes, and I was like, oh, shit, I could do this.
Right.
And so, like, my English one used to be, like, an 85, I think, 85, 86.
Mhm.
And I was like, fuck. Okay, so if I just try a little bit harder, I can get an A. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I pulled off, was a 90. And I
Nice.
was like, sweet. And then, like I said, math should be easy. My biggest thing was I wasn't trying too hard on the homework, so I'd be like, I got an 89 today. Okay, now I got a 93. And so it kept averaging out a little lower, little lower, little lower.
Mhm.
And so I finally pulled out the homework, and my overall grade was an 89 last time she updated it, but now it's a 92, which should put me at an A.
I think I had like 116% in one of my classes.
Damn.
Yeah, because there's a lot of extra credit, and I was like, okay, cool. And some of them I did without even realizing. It was
'Cause you
making.
just thought it was an assignment?
Well, it was making a game level, and I just got creative with it, and it was like, oh, cool, extra credit. And I was like, oh, great. So I wonder if that affects the grade point average.
I don't think it will. I think it's still just
Damn,
an A.
A's an A. That's
Yeah, I don't
silly.
think you're going to get a 4.2.
I would like to transfer some of those points over to my
other classes.
Yeah, I just need 1 point
That would
to
be
make
nice.
bump that up to a 90.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I have 2 more finals on Friday, and then my 5th class is just flying. and I'm pretty sure like we've never done an
Hopefully you don't fail that.
like we've never done an assignment, so I think it's a pass fail, but it's not a sense that he doesn't get a letter grade.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if you pass, you get an A situation.
I see.
At least with my instructor, because like I said, I've heard of a couple other instructors actually gave their students assignments, and my instructor's yet to give me any. He just tells me to do something. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it, kind of thing. But there's never been consequences if I don't. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
it very much seems like as long as I'm there when I say I'm going to be there, and I'm in the uniform, which I always am, that I should get an A as long as I pass.
Right.
But if you don't pass, then it's an automatic F. So it's like, ah. Yeah, and then like I said, the other two finals I have Friday, so I won't be able to know those grades until. Actually, they're both online exams, so I'll know the grade right away.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as I'm done taking it, it gives you the score, so that'll be nice. The
Those are
math
always-
one, I'm actually gonna look here soon.
Oh man, I'm getting to the point where I'll be out of school. I'm so happy.
I hate you.
How many years do you have left? That was a weird that was I emphasized the wrong syllable.
After this semester, I was only like 1 credit hour shy of being a sophomore this year.
Oh, are you that far behind?
Yeah, I can't.
Dude, that's right. You
I
didn't
took
go.
a year off.
Meanwhile, I'm a fucking 5th year senior.
Like, you guys' freshman year, I took that year off. Then I
Oh.
was here for everyone's sophomore year. Then I took half a semester off prior to deployment. Then I went on deployment for a year, and then I took a half a semester off. Both times were because like
That's
when we left for deployment, it was halfway through a semester, and when we came back, it was halfway through a semester. So I couldn't
Mhm.
do any of those plus the one in the middle that was a whole one.
I see.
Yeah. So all in all, when I came back, I had 1 year of college under my belt. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Pretty cool.
I'm getting this
you
one
were
knocked out.
less in debt than most of us until you started doing more classes.
Stupid. Yeah, then it just went straight back to debt.
What would you have done without school? Like if you hadn't gone to school, what would you have done? Just like gotten a job and been in the workforce?
No, because I need some kind of fulfillment. So like I would have had to get a job, right, to get money, but not going to school was never an option.
Oh, so you always plan on going to school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
exactly.
cool.
I was just aware that, like, so the first year that I took off was because I came back in like November-ish
Mm-hmm.
of you guys' freshman year, so like the end of the first semester, right? And I was like, oh, I could start in the spring, but I wanted to be like a traditional college student because it's been a goal of mine. So I was like, I'll wait till fall. And so I just took that spring semester off.
Ah.
So it was like one semester was forced off, the other semester voluntarily. But once again, I didn't expect to go on a deployment. So I was like, it's just one semester. This is fine. Then I went to school.
Yeah.
My first semester was fine. And then before the second semester started, I found out I was going on deployment. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Great.
So then I finished that semester. And then I was like, let's see here. Do I want to spend this last couple months, which was about equivalent to a whole semester, going to classes and stressing out between that and work at the same time so I don't die? Or do I want to just work because just going to classes was an option because I didn't have money to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I took that semester off, was so I can enjoy my time before deployment. And then the next semester I couldn't do because I was deploying a month and a half into that semester.
Right.
Then I got deployed. And then I came back a month and a half into the following semester. And so obviously that one was off. And then I went to school this semester.
Nice.
That's where I'm at.
I took one spring semester off between K-State and Bethany, and it was amazing. I loved not going to school and just working on creative stuff in my room, and it was just like, there's no school, nobody cares, it's awesome. And then I went back to school and I was like, oh, damn it, now I have expectations to live up to, and I gotta do all this homework, but I'm enjoying it a lot more at Bethany, so.
I really think I'm going to miss school when I'm done.
I don't know if you know what? No, I won't. I'm ready to be out and be done. Like, maybe I'll be like for a little bit, like, oh no, I have no purpose at the moment, but I'll get over it quickly because I'm very much done with school.
I am ready to get out and be done and get started on something,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm I just had this conversation last night even. I'm the type of person that wants to be like a jack of all trades kind of thing.
Me too, a little
and
bit.
so like I
Yeah.
can't stop learning. Like, and that's what I mean, like when I don't want to be done with school, because I think I'm just gonna jump into something else right away in some kind of. It's gonna have to be some kind of school setting, whether it's traditional college or if it's
Take
happens
like
to
a
be a trade school.
Take like a pottery class.
That's not one of the skills I want to learn.
Oh.
So like some of the things, like I want to be able to flip houses, and with that I want to not only
There's money in that.
be a realtor side, but I also want to be the person that actually fixes up the house, or at least has some kind of say in it, or knows who to hire.
Do you have construction background?
No, and that's part of what I want to get, right?
I see.
And so like some of that's going to get the trade school side of learning how to fix up houses, whether that's the plumbing, the electric side, or, and I'll probably have to pick like 2 and then leave the other ones up for other people and just hire it, because like that's going to take too long and I'll be dead before it's all done. But
My parents did that with my uncle for a long time. He's an
Really?
electrician, and they went around and like I think they basically just wired houses, and my dad did it so much that he carries a dime around with him. And when he sees like the little screws that you see on the outlets, if it isn't like perpendicular, he like takes it and fixes it, because like that was just something he always did when he fixed the lights. And it's a craftsmanship kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like I want to do that for one side, and then also then I want to go in and get my realtor's license and do that, and then start buying houses, fixing them up, and then flipping it.
Move
and
to
then
Manhattan,
eventually-
do that.
Right. Oh God, it'd be way too hard to buy a house, I think.
Oh really?
I'd imagine so. Not many people are selling as opposed to
Well,
renting.
yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, and then eventually, if
You
I
could
got
flip a
enough.
shit ton of houses in this town. Have you seen all the freaking dumpster fires in this town?
Oh yeah, no, this one wouldn't be that bad.
Just move back to Salina, you'll make a fucking killing.
But even somewhere like Topeka, where
You should. Here's
it's
what you
never
should do.
gonna stop.
Here's what you should do. You should become head of the DEA. Go around, bust all the meth heads, and then flip the houses.
I'm sure that's against some kind of law.
Is it?
It would if I went out purposely trying to do that.
Trying to bust meth heads? Like
No,
if you found
trying to bust meth heads for an ulterior motive other than the law.
I don't see what the problem is. If you're busting meth heads and they have like meth labs in their basement.
I think
I see the conflict of interest.
Yes.
I just think it's stupid.
I agree. I agree.
I feel like it's the perfect. I don't know. Maybe
It's a win-win. The community wins and I get rich.
exactly. I don't.
I agree. I
mean, I
could
guess
also-
meth heads would just move back into the houses since this is Salina. But
They'll probably just be on the streets now, and then there'll be a whole other problem for Salina.
yeah. Have you
Which is
driven?
already a problem.
Have you driven to the Dillons on 9th lately?
Yeah, that's the one I tend to go to. It's probably the one I'm going to go to after you
The
leave.
one that's by Magnolia, where I live, up by the Panera and all that.
No, not that one.
Okay, there's like a homeless guy out there, and it's kind of really sad because he's like sleeping on the ground, and it's freezing outside. And I'm just like, oh, I hope he's okay. And yeah,
It sucks because like my initial reaction is thinking, oh, it was their fault that like they were here.
damn. I mean,
And
I
then-
kind of
And then like I immediately regress back to maybe.
maybe you never know.
Like exactly, and that's why I kind of like
My
bite
dad,
my tongue when it comes to those.
My dad told me a story. He used to live in Denver, and I think it was this that made him like not ever give money to homeless people because which sounds bad. My dad's awesome, but the story he told me, he was approached by a homeless man who asked for money, and my dad said no. And later that night, he was getting into his car and he looked over and he saw the homeless man pull out a key and walk into a really nice house. He was a professional homeless man, and it was just like, it's so hard to trust that sometimes.
And so like for me, there's multiple different cases where it's sometimes they just use that money for drugs, or sometimes instead of giving them money for food, you give them food and they get pissed off at you. And then
It's like,
oh, so it wasn't gonna be okay. And like for me, it's more of it's not that I don't want to help; it's that there's no way to know if which one I'm helping is the one that actually needs help.
The ones that get
versus-
me are the like college students who are homeless, who have like really nice phones on them while they're doing it. And it's just like, come on, man.
These are the ones that literally just looked up. Ooh, you can make money doing this.
Yeah.
Cake.
It's like you could go get a job and it'd be fine. But wow, I think this is probably the most political podcast we've had.
Oh wow, yeah.
Luckily, we're just gonna burn the ship because we're just sending it anyway.
Send it. Let's see here. There's something else I was gonna say. Then you started talking about homeless people.
We were talking about meth heads flipping houses.
Oh, so the other things that I'd like to do.
Okay.
So some of the other trades I'd want to pick up is like learning how to cut hair.
Okay.
And I also want to like learn how to do professional like massages, maybe even full-on chiropractic. On top of that, I'd also really like to learn how to be a dentist, which is too much time commitment. So that's
a
probably not happening.
lot of school.
Oh, where? So
you should have started earlier.
Like that one's out, but it's there. If I ever get like into a lot of money and then therefore no job, so just a lot of free time. Because personally, I would like to do all those things.
So if you got like absurdly rich,
simultaneously.
if you got absurdly rich and didn't have to worry about money, you would go learn how to be a dentist.
I would totally go learn how to be a dentist. Yeah.
Nice.
I would go back to school and be like, this isn't an option. Like, money isn't out of the equation, and free time is abundant. Let's do this.
I'm bored out of my fucking mind. Let's learn how to fix teeth.
Yeah, and like even flying is something that I just kind of liked the idea of, and I think
you could be a pilot.
I think what I was most excited about, was just like yesterday, when I got in the plane and I was like, I know how to fly a plane, and I just sat there thinking like that, and I was like, if there's like 2012 natural disaster kind of thing, I'm just gonna get in this bad boy and take off.
Yeah. Because you could. Yeah, I'll definitely
And
come
it's
to you if
just
I need a
like-
plane.
And it's just like a fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard, but not a lot of people know how to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's things like that
You
where
could become a crop duster.
uh,
Those guys are fucking. Those guys are fucking crazy. They gotta fly close to the ground all the time, and it's just like you guys gotta be half insane to do shit like
that's
that.
fun though.
It's fun, yeah.
Because like it seems really low, but when you're in the plane, you get really aware of how close to the ground you are. So
Oh,
it's
really?
not like it's kind of like when you're driving, like you have really good situational awareness.
Oh, and you know like how
of,
close
like,
your
like
right
your
side
front
is to the
or
wall.
like your front end is to the car, so you know exactly how you could whip it. And like, whereas I might get in your car and I'm like, fuck, this is a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Me driving my car, I'm like, my car always makes this kinds of.
I always
turns.
freak people out when I pull into parking spaces and I like almost clip the car that I'm parking next to, but it's just like I know what it feels like and it's fine.
Exactly. I'm just like, it's the same thing with planes. Like you get used, especially right now because we fly the same planes.
Mm-hmm.
You get very used to like the dimensions of the airplane and what you can and can't do, and occasionally you'll test a little bit more and you're like, oh, that was fine. I could keep doing that.
That kind
now.
of mentality makes me even more optimistic for flying cars.
Really?
Because I feel like, first of all, I feel like Elon Musk could do it. And I think he said, yeah, we could do it, but it might be a little stressful, so maybe we shouldn't. But I think he can make it. And I think that with, some years of practice, just like with cars, we could eventually get to the point where people all have their own flying cars.
So, I heard this, and I never looked back on it since.
Okay.
And I think I would need more information because this happened very recently. Because I used to be in the same camp as you,
Oh, okay.
where I was like, flying cars. That sounds fucking awesome.
I mean,
it
shit.
sounds like it should be easy to do.
Are you about to convince me otherwise? Let's hear it.
I don't know. Maybe it
Okay.
convinced me otherwise.
Let's hear
and
it.
This is why I love hearing new information.
Mm-hmm.
It was during this semester when people were talking about that, and it was like during my aviation history class. And the reason why it never really took off, because it almost took off. Like that's
Reason why
why I know
flying
it's
cars never
possible.
took
Yeah.
off? Okay.
And then I think it was like World War I happened, and so then it just
That far back?
or it was like after World War I, before World War II, but after World War I, there was
Shit,
like,
we didn't have planes until World War II.
we had it planes in World War I.
Did we?
Yeah, they just weren't actually used in the war
Oh,
too much.
maybe you're right. Okay. Anyway,
God damn it, kid.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I can't remember if it was post World War I or post World War II, but it was really close to happening, and then it just didn't happen because the airplane industry just kind of crashed for a bit. And it wasn't until so it must have been post World War I.
Oh, so they were really booming, and then it was.
Yeah, because they
I
were
see.
booming because there was a huge surge in airplane technology because of the war. It kind of needed to happen, and there was good outlook. And then after the war,
They were like, we're
the
good.
need for like the federal funding just went away, and so
Mhm.
then it was just a public interest thing, and it was like, oh, you can't, but blah blah blah. It wasn't until after World War II where people were a little bit more globalized thought, because they were like, shit, this happened twice, and we had to step in both times to save the world, that America was like, maybe we should invest in a global outreach, and that's when people started investing into like global air traffic.
Okay.
Right? But anyway, so it's post World War One, almost happened, and the reason I'm against it is because it was finally brought up. Of just think about how many terrible drivers there are in Salina.
Yeah.
Think about how many accidents there are. Think about how many times your car breaks down or the check engine light turns on and you neglect it.
Now put that in the air.
Imagine that,
Yeah.
and your car breaks down
Mm-hmm.
1,000 feet in the air, and now not only is it broken down, but now it is a fucking missile aiming to the ground.
Mm-hmm. I'm still for it because I think it would be totally possible to have self-flying cars.
That wasn't an issue. It was like
and
something wrong happened with your car.
I know, but like your first point was the drunk drivers and the bad drivers.
Yeah.
So that's eliminated with self-flying cars. Now with the plummeting to Earth, first of all, it would cost millions and billions of dollars to restructure cities, because you would need to like put guardrails up on all the buildings and like to protect people. But I'm picturing parachutes, first of all. So if your car senses that it's going to be fucked, it releases some parachutes and it stops you and it makes you float. But obviously that doesn't always work.
And it doesn't save the people on the ground.
True.
Well, I guess the guardrail's okay, but...
Well, that's the thing, though. People on the ground, like, I mean, I feel like you should, like with a road, make sure people aren't walking under the cars, put them on the sidewalk. And even if you're a car on the ground and there are people on the sidewalk, you can still hurt people. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, I guess...
I'm not completely opposed. Like, I think there's precautions that you could take. Like you said, especially like the guardrail.
No matter what happens, there's going to be somebody dying. Somebody's going to die at some point, which sucks. But, like, I mean, you can't avoid it.
So this is one of those cases where, like I said, my opinion has flipped, but it's not gone. Mm-hmm. Like, I still love the idea of, like, owning my own...
You are probably
plane,
like me
right?
with traveling to Mars. I would love to travel to Mars,
but I'm not going to be the first.
That shit is sketchy. There would need to be like probably 5 years of people going back and forth to Mars like twice or three times a month before I even consider getting on a rocket ship to go live on a fucking planet.
And that's kind of where I'm at safety-wise with the flying car issue. I'm all for it, but before we make it public, to like easily accessible, you could pull out a loan and get one as easy as you are for a car. I would have to see something like, I like the idea of roads. Mm-hmm. Roads.
Being on the ground.
Right?
Yeah.
Where like no one's just flying any willy-nilly area. It's if you do have only self-driving space cars.
Yeah.
Then they all follow the same path and they automatically avoid each other, go at certain speeds, right? Mm-hmm. That's fine. You can't avoid mechanical issues or poor maintenance, unfortunately.
Right.
And so that's kind of something I'm worried about. Like, think about how many people know there's something wrong with their car and drive it anyway because they just have to get to work.
I still have a headlight that's
or
out.
They don't have money yeah, right? And you just don't have money to fix it. Like, it happens. And that's what I'm worried about if it becomes super public. Because what if their self-automation is the thing that's going out? And they're like,
yeah.
Oh, I'll just get it fixed when it goes down. And then they crash.
I think we could definitely, like...
I'm not taking it out of the realm of possibility. I just would need to see something that would prove that it'd still be safe.
Yeah. There's some kind of safety.
Yeah. At least to the point where
cars are not safe.
At least to the point where it's like as safe as driving
as a car,
if not safer, because that's basically what planes are. They had to, like, the stigma had to go to the point where, I mean, you're up in the air, so everyone's natural fear is like, oh, that's so dangerous, even though it's safer than driving a car.
Humans don't belong in the air. God did not intend this.
So,
yeah,
that's for now. I'll just fly myself.
I will support the cause. I just won't buy one. I'm that way with self-driving cars. I'm just like, I'm okay with controlling the car for now, but maybe.
I'm okay with it after a couple, a couple years.
Yeah. So. I don't have anything else. And we are almost 10 minutes over. So wait, what were you gonna say?
I said I'm also tired.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. So
All right, bye guys.
last episode.
Potentially a podcast next week.
Maybe, yeah.
Potentially.
So, but just in case, goodbye. We're glad you listened to us while we did this.
For those of you that did. Hey,
Yeah.
Leanna.
Yeah, hey Leanna, sorry we couldn't get you as a guest. Just life happened. We couldn't do it.
You know what still pissed me off?
What?
She's coming down here like the weekend that I'm leaving. Right?
Oh, that's
like,
a bummer.
I might be leaving this weekend,
Mhm.
and she's coming down next weekend.
Oh, it
Or something like
sucks.
that. I think that's how it was.
Mhm.
And then even then I was like, well, maybe I'll get to catch her in January, but she's leaving